At the start of the anime, we see a sword wrapped in fire and blood. Apparently, it's a warrior who begins a speech as we see him fighting various enemies. Then, airplanes are shown bombing a city. Next, in a room with music playing, a doll with a human-shaped face appears, and the protagonist says, "I was a king." We see him in a dreamlike state, submerged in the sea, while a man says, "Son, seek the light." Next, we see a couple looking at their newborn baby, while we hear the king's voice saying, "Where am I?" showing he knows no one there. The baby is named Arthur, and the king suspects he has been reborn. We see him meditating, reflecting on past victories, only to end up reborn as a baby. His mother, named Alice, and his father, Reynolds, will care for him with great love. We see how he feels uncomfortable with baby experiences, unable to control his body. As he struggles to accept it, the king prefers to believe it's just a dream and wishes to wake up rather than face reality. However, outside the house, we all notice something interesting. We see Reynolds using powers to destroy a giant rock, though he slightly hits his head. Alice uses powers to heal him, and that's when we understand that powers exist in their world. Then, we see Reynolds fighting a bull and a group who seem to be hunters, possibly his friends. The king watches closely, curious about what his father will do, as he also hopes to gain powers. He notes that in this society, free weapon use is allowed, indicating it's a dangerous world. For that reason, he wishes to learn powers as quickly as possible. We see how his parents, he is put to bed, and at that moment, he remembers how in his youth he used to defeat 2 intruders with ease. He sleeps, and also remembers the freedom of being able to sleep whenever he wanted. Then we see how time passes. He is just a baby. Little by little, he gets used to being called Little Arthur. He even tries to learn about powers and history, while his mother thinks he is asleep. That's how we discover that, while reading a book, he becomes immersed in a world made up of 3 kingdoms: Dicathen, an underground nation inhabited by dwarves; Elenoir, the hidden kingdom of elves; and Sapin, the kingdom where he lives, the most populated human nation. Just like where he originally comes from, there's also a hereditary monarchy here. It is said that this world is in technological development, though still quite primitive, since it relies heavily on magic. There is a power called mana, a hereditary ability that manifests in 1 out of every 100 people. It is explained that there are 2 main ways to use mana: augmenting and conjuring. The augmenter simply enhances physical stats and bodily skills, while the conjurer can project mana and control abilities at will. Arthur remembers Alice's skill and wonders if she's a conjurer, though according to him there must be exceptions. Mana is controlled by developing the mana core. Arthur mentions he knows a concept called Kai, which consists of controlling the center of vital energy, and that everything can be developed from that. He focuses to unlock mana, but his mother interrupts him to change his diaper. Meanwhile, his mother writes in her diary about how much she loves her son, though she has never seen him smile. Then we see him training with a stick, although his mother does not like the idea. She comments that he hasn't even learned to walk properly for them to be teaching him how to use a sword. In the city, he remains very observant of his surroundings, as he prioritizes learning and constantly repeats that knowledge is power. Upon seeing the swords, shields, and various types of weapons, he realizes the level of technology he is in. He also notices the abundance of minerals like rocks and diamonds, and perceives the use of magic in people. Although he feels quite uncomfortable in the body of a baby, he recognizes that he doesn't have a bad life. He recalls his past life, how he was abandoned in an orphanage, and that's why he doesn't fully understand the matriarchal dynamic in which he now lives. His mother, very observant, notices Arthur's routine. He sneaks out of his room at night to read books, pays attention to everything when they go to the market. These are traits she interprets as signs that her son will take the path of a king, although deep down, she wishes for him a more peaceful life. Later, Arthur watches his father train and reflects on how fortunate he is to inherit his magic from him, who is a potentiator. Arthur convinces his mother to let him read a book before bed, using his charms and cute little faces. She agrees, and we see him concentrating while trying to channel his mana. His concentration is so intense that it causes an explosion in the house. Reynolds protects him from the blast, and when both parents rush in to make sure he is okay, they are shocked by what they find. Arthur, still not even 3 years old, is levitating, surrounded by a large amount of mana. But suddenly, chunks of wood fall from the ceiling, and his parents rush to protect him. Seeing him cry, he doesn't fully understand what he is feeling. He never had a family in his past life, so he doesn't know what parental love is. However, experiencing that genuine care and affection moves him deeply. and he breaks down in tears, touched by the love he had never received before. Guys, like and subscribe or else I'll steal your girlfriend. Bye.
If you made it to this part of this video, comment the word Anigoat, subscribe, and remember, I upload 3 videos daily. I'll be waiting for you in all 3.